Nobody noticed her when she walked past. She was always there, yet somehow invisible. Every morning, before the sun fully rose, she swept the front of her small house with a worn broom. Her clothes were old but clean. Her slippers were thin. Her face carried lines of hardship, but her eyes held something rare, quiet hope. Her name was Amina. People in the neighborhood knew her as that poor woman. Nothing more. She had no husband, no children, no steady job. She survived by washing clothes, cleaning houses, and selling small vegetables by the roadside. Some days, she made enough to eat twice. Some days, only once. But every day, she smiled. Good morning, she greeted people as they passed. Some replied. Most didn't. Amina didn't mind. In the afternoons, children often gathered near her stall. Auntie Amina, a little girl once asked, "Why are you always smiling?" Amina paused, then knelt so they were eye to eye. "Because hope is free," she said softly. "And I have plenty of it." The children didn't fully understand, but they liked being around her. She listened to them. She remembered their names. She clapped when they told her about school, even when their stories were small. One evening, a teenage boy sat near her stall, his head buried in his arms. Amina noticed immediately. "What's wrong, my son?" she asked gently. He hesitated, then said, "I failed my exams. My father says I'm useless." Amina was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Do you know how many times a seed fails before it becomes a tree?" The boy looked up. "Failure is not the end," she continued. "It's only telling you to try again." Those words stayed with him longer than he realized. At night, Amina returned to her small room. The walls were cracked. The roof leaked when it rained. She cooked with a single pot and slept on a thin mattress. Sometimes, hunger visited her. But despair never stayed long. She prayed quietly. Not for riches. Not for an easy life. Just for strength to wake up hopeful again. One day, a woman from the neighborhood came to her crying. "My husband lost his job," she sobbed. "We may be evicted." Amina didn't have much. But she reached into her small bag and brought out what little money she had saved. "Take this," she said. "But what about you?" the woman asked. Amina smiled. "I'll manage." And she did. Somehow, she always did. Years passed like this. Quiet. Uncelebrated. Then Amina began to fall sick. At first, it was small, tiredness, dizziness. She brushed it off. Just stress, she told herself. But the sickness grew heavier. One afternoon, she collapsed beside her stall. Neighbors rushed her to the hospital. The doctor shook his head slowly. "She needs treatment," he said. "And rest." Rest was expensive. Treatment even more. Amina listened quietly. That night, a woman sat beside her hospital bed. "Why didn't you tell anyone you were suffering?" she asked. Amina smiled weakly. "Everyone has their own burdens. I didn't want to add mine." Her condition worsened. Yet even in the hospital, she encouraged others. "Don't cry," she told a young patient beside her. "Tomorrow may be better." One nurse later said, "I've never seen someone so sick, yet so full of light." Amina passed away quietly one early morning. No loud announcement was made. But the news spread, and something unexpected happened. On the day of her burial, people kept coming. And coming. And coming. Neighbors. Children. Teenagers. Adults. Even strangers. People whispered, confused. "She had no money, so why is everyone here?" Then the stories began. "She paid my school fees when my parents couldn't. She encouraged me when I wanted to give up. She gave me food when I had nothing. She told me I mattered." One man stood forward, his voice shaking. "I was on the verge of ending everything," he said. "She sat with me and reminded me that my life had value." Tears filled the air. The woman everyone ignored had been holding the neighborhood together, quietly. The coffin was simple, but the love was overwhelming. After her burial, something strange happened. People began helping one another more. Children started greeting elders again. Neighbors checked in on each other. Amina had left no property, no bank account, no inheritance. Yet she left behind something far greater. Hope. If this story touched you, Take a moment to like this video. It helps stories like this reach more hearts. And ask yourself this quietly. What are you giving the world while you're still here? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more life stories that remind us what truly matters.